Welcome to Faster. My name is Steven Estes and I'm the sports science engineer here at Faster, and here we are in the control room for our wind tunnel. What we do in the control room is we control everything going on in the wind tunnel, and we do that through a proprietary software here on our desktop here. And we spend a lot of time on the software to make it so that we can control everything on one panel and also to make it aesthetically pleasing. So what we can do from here is we can control everything on the platform for the bike itself, which includes adjusting the arms to place bikes on and off the bike, and to also adjust the length of the arms so that we can fit any size bike on there. Also, we control the wind speed, the speed of the wheels, and everything else that happens out there, we control it here. And on top of that, we monitor everything going out there, from temperature, humidity, pressure, wind speed, power output of the athlete, etc. And so from here we can see that the wind comes from behind this mesh gate into the rider, and so we actually have 3 series of mesh gates to help ensure that the wind speed that comes through is laminar and not turbulent. And then right away we have a camera in the front that helps us get a front image of the rider, and then behind that we have 2 anemometers to help measure the wind speed of the rider. We also have an ultrasound bird cage, we like to refer to it, that can measure the wind speed through the Doppler effect, and we also have a propeller back here to get the wind speed behind the rider. Here's where we house the rider. They come in here, and there's these arms that we mentioned earlier. They can slide forward and backwards and in and out and up and down to fit any size bike in here, any reasonably sized bike in here. Lower the bike down onto the rollers and we will power the front wheel, and the rider, if we have a rider, will power the rear wheel. And while he's powering the rear wheel, we can monitor his power output, his cadence, and his wheel speed. And that's important so that if we have a rider in here and we put him in some super aero position, but all of a sudden his power is cut in half, we'll be able to know that and make the necessary adjustments to help fix that. Down here we have a TV monitor, and this is for the rider's sake. We'll be able to throw up pictures of the rider as well as the measurements that he is obtaining, so such as his bike axis grams, his wind axis grams, his pedal speed, and his power. So again, anything that we see he'll be aware of also and be able to comment on that if we don't see anything. And so here we can see the return side of the wind tunnel. After the wind blows over the rider, it returns back around. We have a closed loop tunnel, and this is a great aspect for us as a small wind tunnel. It allows us to actually be considered a green wind tunnel because it requires a whole lot less power. And so the wind will return around. It has these turning vanes to help again maintain the laminar aspect of the wind. And also over here you can see the 2 thermocouples. This helps measure the temperature of the air, because in a wind tunnel you don't measure the velocity of the wind hitting the rider, you measure the force or the pressure of the wind hitting the rider. And that is a function of the wind speed, the temperature, humidity, and static pressure of the air. And so we monitor all of that in multiple locations to make sure everything we do can be replicated in any other wind tunnel. All the measurements that occur of the force of the rider on the platform is measured underneath this platform that you can't see. And one of the coolest things going on is we have air pucks that lift the platform up. And so that's hidden, you can't see it, but as the rider's on there, these air pucks lift the platform, and it essentially turns this whole area into an air hockey table. And this is what gives us the capability to measure very small changes in force on the rider. So here's our huge propeller to power the wind all the way around the tunnel. It has 9 blades, it's about 8 feet in diameter, and this, when it's with an athlete in there, it's going about 45 hertz, or it's making 45 rotations a second to push the air at approximately 30 miles an hour. It has the capability of going up to about 50 miles an hour, but we don't see that speed often with testing riders. So one other difference of our wind tunnel from other wind tunnels is with this propeller here, we actually push the air around the tunnel. Other wind tunnels, they will use multiple fans and they will suck the air through, and that's one of the reasons why it requires more power, because they really have one go at it to suck that air through and get it going through at high wind speeds, while again we're considered green because we have this one fan that can push the air around, and it can gradually speed the air up until it reaches the speed we need it to.